doing a mine tour here.
So in San Francisco, this is forever ago. This is
1870s, right? Something like that.
This is before. It's like 1860s. Right here, yeah, 1860s. Yeah, about between 1860s and 1870s, there was in San Francisco. There's a mining exchange office where you'll go. You know, so I stake a claim here. You know, do all the legal paperwork.
Okay.
Two dudes worked in it, and next door to it there was a bar where another two dudes worked at. And guys would go to work and they would go into the bar, drink, and bull crap with the bartenders. And then they said to the bartenders, like, yo, got some great stuff going on in the Sierra Nevadas and the Nevada territory stuff. And I was like, well, if you guys, how about you guys fund us? We're going to go out there, we'll cut you in. There were 4 uneducated Irishmen, and they became the 4 richest men in the world. They became the Bonanza Kings.
Wow.
Flood.
This is in like 1860, right? Or something like that?
James Flood, O'Brien.
And then Laughlin, right?
McKay.
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Like that. I read about it yesterday.
All right, you guys, have you done this mine tour before?
A long time ago.
A long time ago. Was Santa Claus your tour guide? Do you remember? No.
I don't. I mean, it's literally like 20 years ago, probably.
So welcome to Best in Belcher Mine Tour. My name is Spencer. I'm going to be your tour guide real quick. I'm not a local here. This is my new home. I just relocated out here from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, cool.
And I'd rather be dead than go back.
Hey.
I'm glad I lost less than $50 on that criminal football team called the Bengals. This is my first job working with people, working on history. I usually do some type of labor.
Oh, okay.
Please excuse my people skills. I apologize. You guys wanted the History Channel. If you guys wanted the History Channel, you need to go back in time. Get on my coworker Ty's tour. The man's literally a genius. He trained me. I learned a lot from him. He's the History Channel, as I am drunk history. Mispronounced words. I speak in layman's terms. Probably gonna be swearing. Oh yeah, no kids here. Good
Nope.
old-fashioned swearing on this tour. You're old enough. Yes.
She's definitely
You guys
old.
ever watch Bonanza?
I did. She has no idea what I'm talking about. What we're talking about.
Haas is the coolest character. You know what Bonanza means? Got ourselves a Spanish term for good fortune, rich load.
I was gonna say I don't know that.
Now, in the show, the Cartwright family, they call their ranch the Ponderosa, as this building is called the Ponderosa. Why? What is a Ponderosa besides a bad restaurant?
Open space? I don't know.
It is a type of tree. It's Ponderosa pine.
Ah, well,
At one point,
I should have known that.
all of
but I
Virginia
didn't.
City here, this was nothing. It's just a great big forest of Ponderosa pine, aka blackjack pine. But it was all depleted to build the town, to build the mines. Tried to replant the forest twice. They say the ecosystem not having it. However, my theory is that they're not given enough time. I say forest cannot grow overnight. But I've been wrong in the past, probably wrong about that one, but I like having my theories. Done with that map. That map is stupid. You know, mini mines for free all over Virginia City. Do not do it. It's extremely dangerous. A lot of missing people's case in Nevada from people exploring mines. The poisonous gases will get you. There's a reason why we don't have society of homeless tunnel people living on these mines.
If you added all this up, it was 700 miles.
Over 700.
That's insane.
That is bigger than the catacombs of Paris.
And how deep do they go? This is 3,000 feet down? That's hard to believe it's that deep. So what were the temperatures down there?
Got really hot.
I bet.
All right, so
I can't imagine.
now the Comstock lode, is this a part of the gold rush? Well, you won't be like those technical a-holes I get in here every now and then. They say this chunk of history cannot exist without the gold rush. So technically it is. But technically it's not. It's like 10 years later. It's more like a spin-off.
Okay.
You heard of the 49ers, the
Right,
prospectors?
1849, yeah.
Okay, you ever heard of the 59ers?
No.
Okay, the gold rush ended. All the 49ers went off their own way. Some hit up this area, some hit up the Rocky Mountains, some hit up Alaska, Idaho. A lot of them died. A lot of them said, screw this, I'm going back to farming. Two of them that ended up here, they were also scientists. They were the Grosh brothers. They took a big, great interest in this area. Unfortunately, one was mining. He got a pickaxe through his foot. He died of an infection.
Wow.
His brother said, that's not going to stop me. I need to get out to Sacramento. So before he left for Sacramento, he had this illiterate Canadian trapper slash sheep herder watch his cabin and to watch his claim. Illiterate Canadian's name, Henry Comstock.
Oh boy.
Dude takes off for Sacramento. He gets lost. He dies of frostbite. Henry Comstock catches word and he's like, cha-ching.
Yeah.
This is now my cabin. This is now my claim. Get off my land.
Right.
Everybody's like, dude, we know this ain't rightfully your land, but we're going to cut you in just to get you to shut up. So they cut Henry Comstock in, and for some reason he sells his shares at $11,000. Takes off, does this thing of drinking and gambling, mental health declining. Ends up in Montana 3 years later, and he reads about the big bonanza strike that happened on the land he got rid of. You want to guess how the story ends for old Henry Comstock?
Richest man, one of the richest men. Really?
Self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. I wonder if he used a silver bullet.
So why did they name it the Comstock Load?
All right, because
I guess you're getting there.
Smart asses. So he comes like he's like, yeah, this is all my land and stuff. He sells it, he takes off, and he's like, okay, he's like, that was my land. You guys are millionaires now. He's like, you got to cut me back in. They're like, no, dude. He's like, well, you guys are still calling it the Comstock Load.
Right.
You guys owe me money for rights. And they're like, no, dude. And that's when he kills himself.
Wow.
Virginia City is a bunch of rebellious smartasses, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, so they mostly, my theory that they called the Comstock Load, just
a message.
A big screw you.
Yeah.
Because you ever heard the outhouse races they have here?
I have. I looked at, yeah.
Why do they have them? Because way back when, I think early 1900s, government came in and said, hey, Virginia City, you guys got to get rid of your outhouses. We're going to plumbing. Okay. And Virginia City's like, we don't want to get rid of our houses. So what do? They put them on wheels and they parade them down the street. Because Virginia City is a bunch of rebellious.
It's funny.
All right.
Similar to San Francisco, I would say.
So Henry Comstock actually got what he deserved because he was a terrible person. The only thing we took from him was the name Comstock. He has swindled Irishmen out of their black sand, and he didn't have slaves, but he had like indentured servants at one point. The dude sucked. There's not a lot of great silver mining here. We had our gold mining over here in Gold Hill, hence the name Gold Hill. You guys been to Gold Hill or through it? Creepy little town on the way to Carson City. That's where the gold mining was. It was going so great until April 1869. This Yellow Jacket mine. A worker left a candle burning overnight that was way too close to a pillar.
Oh.
The pillar started smoldering in the morning when they started their shift.
Right.
At that mine and the surrounding mines, lifts started descending, deliver prospectors down there for work. That was pushing a bunch of oxygen down from every which way.
Oh boy.
It finally got enough oxygen and went pow! A backdraft that killed 45 miners.
Wow.
Destroyed the gold mine completely. Gold's still down there. Just way too dangerous to get.
Sasha, you good now?
Get the hell. You guys know about the Silver Queen?
Not all the details.
Go out to this building, make a left, go down a couple blocks, you got the Silver Queen Hotel and Saloon. Seriously, if you have a minute, walk through the hotel. It's straight out of American Horror Story Season 5.
Well, actually, to be honest, I thought you meant something else. We stayed there like 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we knew it was haunted. And everybody in the room was a ghost hunter. Like every room was booked by like Netflix filming ghost stories and stuff.
They said that like if you want to get a room there now, they're always booked up.
Yeah.
It's like all the ghost hunting people.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was like 10
the
years
painting
ago.
in the saloon?
Yeah, with the coins or
yes.
yeah.
So the 15-foot painting in the saloon of the beautiful lady, her dress made out of real silver dollars. Add them up. You got 3,261. That represents depth of the combination shaft. Deepest mine shaft in Virginia City at 3,261 feet deep.
Wow,
that's pretty deep. You guys agree?
Very deep.
Turns out there's water down there, and it's like, hell yeah, I love water. You like water? Yeah. Water's awesome.
She has some water with her, actually.
No, but it turned out the water down there not only had mercury in it, it got up to 170 degrees. Like we were asking before about the temperatures down there.
Yeah.
It was volcanic water down there. It literally got so hot down there, it was making prospectors' clothes fall off. They needed a material strong enough for the prospectors.
Yeah, Levi showed up.
And I got my symbol right there.
That's awesome.
So the Sutro Tunnel was put in. This expelled this unwanted hot water out of the mines and into the Carson River. That's why it's so polluted. This tunnel lays at 1,137 feet below us. 9 years of build, 12 people died. They put it in 13 years too late. Most of the mining was done. And Mother Nature's a B word. She always wins. Still had to stop deep mining in Virginia City due to that uncontrollable hot water. Okay, volcanic water messing up silver mining. Yellow Jacket mine fire mess up gold mining. Virginia City said, screw this, done mining, too dangerous. However, within the last 7 months, they have started the mine again in Virginia City. They're actually mining down in Gold Hill.
Like right now? Wow.
It's called the Comstock Project down in Gold Hill. So, from what I gathered, at first, they have this land and people are paying them to test out mining technology on the land.
Right.
So it's more like practicing.
Right.
But I just learned from my historian mentor, like last week, that as of lately, they are doing nothing besides chilling and making a mess. Coworker lives down that way. He grabbed these core sample pieces that are pulled from the ground. This piece sucks because I thought it was blue mud, but it's way too light. Now the pieces my dad stole from us, those actually had some good weight to them. Not making that up. That's how my dad rules, and it kind of sucks. You guys know about the blue mud?
No.
What do you guys think blue mud is? I say mud that's blue, I'll hit you.
I don't have any idea, to be honest.
Silver.
Really?
Blue mud is silver. This is more oxidized form of silver. When the mining begun, all this crap was in the way and on the surface. This stuff got stuck to everything. Got stuck to their tools, got stuck to their boots. Miners were tracking it all over. They called them the muckers.
Okay.
Hence the name of the high school basketball team here. They freaking hated this stuff. Wasting it, throwing out, filling in potholes with it. Couldn't get rid of that crap fast enough. They hated it.
Right.
And then with our Hispanic friends, what they tried to teach us, because this mining could not have been done without their influence. The Hispanic are the original gangsters of silver mining. But there was a language barrier.
Right.
And they're like, hey, y'all, that's silver y'all wasted. Knock it off. Try to teach us.
No, the gold miners had no clue. Right. That's funny.
And they try to teach us the alchemy, make that silver pure. As you see, pure silver is black. Crayola lied to us. They called it black sand. This is what Henry Comstock swindled out of the Irishmen. Usually you hit black sand, you got gold nearby. Mix it with zinc, get it that shine. Don't take care of your silver jewelry. Tarnish, turn black. Never knew that because I never had anything that fancy.
No, I never knew that either.
I have like copper, nickel, plastic. Yeah, so
Plastic's a good one.
freaking 80% of the world's silver. Whenever you hear people say, oh yeah, 80% of the world's silver comes from Virginia City, they're full of crap. It comes from this Potosi mountain in Chile, and they started mining it like the 14th century.
Oh, wow.
So my theory is like they mined the heck out of that mountain, then worked all the way down the Andes to the Sierra Madres to the Sierra Nevadas, and they were smart because they're like gangsters at silver mining. They started on top of the mountain, set at the bottom. So they're up here mining the whole time. Then at the bottom of the mountain, these white people with their little pans and stuff.
Right.
And they're like, we out. Because the oldest mine in town is called the Mexican mine.
Oh, okay.
That's technically the deepest mine, but it has a different structure. It has like a stair structure.
Got it.
And the combination shaft is straight down. So that bank vault I had you guys. All right. So
Yeah.
the mine was built in 1859. It was abandoned in 1913. The building you're in, built 1864, is one of the oldest banks in Nevada.
Oh, wow.
One side was the post office, and this side was the bank. That bank vault I had you all check out sat right where you guys are standing. That's where that bank vault sat. And this
Oh, really?
was connected.
Okay.
So this is a 3-foot stone wall that protects the vault of the bank, end of the bank.
Huh.
There was a mine behind it because the mine was here first. Whoops. Back in the 80s, my boss and his buddies, they got drunk and they decided to dig down right here, blast through that wall, connect the mine to the bar. My boss.
Oh, it's like a plumbing pipe, too.
So my boss, he's a descendant of the miners. He ended up with the deed to the mine to continue the silver mining. They thought they had something. They really did.
Right.
But they didn't. So now we got mine tours. So with this, why that is right there is because they dug down right there. And there's a bunch of snow on the road and stuff.
Yeah.
It'll melt and come through.
I see.
So it has to
like
go in there to this pump.
So
This
you don't
pump
have-
over there.
You don't have icicles everywhere.
And there's 2 more pumps back here.
Cool.
So it don't get flooded.
Pretty cool.
Alright. Here's what I'm going to talk about this next. This room right here with the Jolly Roger on it. That there That is the powder room. When I say powder room, I'm not talking about cosmetics or Studio 54. I'm talking about dynamite. Black powder blowing up people's minds about 1872.
Yeah.
You can catch word in 1867, a Swedish chemist invented something. He invented something that's just as strong as black powder, but it's something safer to use for mining. Who could tell me the name of the Swedish chemist that invented dynamite?
It wasn't Dynamite?
It was Napoleon Dynamite, actually. Yeah, it was
That's
Alfred.
a good movie.
Oh, it is a good movie. It was Alfred Nobel. It was originally Nobel's blasting powder. He made a lot of money off it. It killed a lot of people. He felt guilty. Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, wow.
What is dynamite made from?
Gunpowder?
So gunpowder and black powder are their own thing. Sulfur and carbon. TNT, that's its own thing. Trinitrotoluene. Dynamite is nitroglycerin.
Oh.
Take your nitric acid, mix with glycerin, then add sodium, nitrogen, and sawdust. There's dynamite. I just taught you guys how to make dynamite.
Did you know it?
And I learned that from the book Fight Club. If anybody reads, I highly recommend that book. It's such a great story.
So when we need to blow up something.
Just get the book.
She's taking notes.
Just get the book Fight Club. The first page tells you how to make dynamite, napalm, silencer.
Yeah.
This is a really good book, though. All right, have you guys been in a mine before outside of Virginia City?
Yeah, I've been on a couple Colorado ones.
Do you remember if the mine you went in did have more or less timber than this?
A lot less.
So this is the first mine I've been in. I saw most mines, they'd be like caves. You don't need all this timber. You just tunnel into the earth. But if you guys would feel the side of the mountain, it's like really soft and it feels like clay. It's like,
oh, wow.
That's why all this timber is needed.
It's super
The
soft.
mountain was easy to work with.
It looks like it would not be soft.
It was really easy to work with, but it was hard to maintain. This is the coolest looking one right here, I think. Original timber. Compared to the new timber.
Oh, yeah.
All these mines made out of wood. Does that mean they'll rot and decay, be gone someday?
Yeah.
A lot of them actually be here till the end of time because they're really deep. They're not exposed to the elements. No oxygen gets to them, so no moisture. I have a theory. If the human race along with Virginia City is still standing in a few million years, this mountain will have petrified tunnels. But we're definitely not going to make it that long.
No, not at all.
No, we got
It doesn't look like it.
Super volcanoes, AI. Here's a fun fact. A couple weeks ago, for 4 days, I was not a tour guide. I was a mucker, and I had to muck from right here all the way back. They had me on wheelbarrow duty.
Oh. Well, it was mud.
Out dirt. They usually just hauling out dirt.
Oh, that's fun.
And because Hess, my boss only has 2 employees, and I'm his 6-day-a-week guy, and I'm the tallest one. Irish Tommy out there, he's the other one. He's super short. But because of that, I'm able to do this. Like right here, it was always like way down. All right, nearly $1 billion of gold and silver was taken out of the whole Comstock. This mine produced $438. It did not do well. Gotta make your profit somehow, hence.
The mine tour.
Thank you. This mine served more of a purpose.
$438.
This might serve more of a purpose, though, for ventilation, transportation to the more successful mines that are down below us. I'm shining my light on here.
Yeah.
This here is a ventilation shaft. However, it doesn't go up to the surface. Only raises go up to the surface. This guy goes down about 550 feet, helps ventilate 8 other mines.
Oh, okay.
But they filled it in with backfill. They put the ore bucket, Winston away to keep the kids out.
Right.
And when people are like, oh, it's a slide, I'm like, that's not a freaking slide, it's an ore bucket. What I'm sitting on is a cast iron ore car. How much you guys think it weighs?
1,200 pounds.
What you guess?
3,000, I don't know.
You both went, we're doing price right rules, you both went over. You went over just a little tiny bit.
Okay.
Half a ton. 1,100. When the mining begun, this half-ton cart was being pulled by a mule and hemp rope.
Ugh.
Once a, you okay?
Yeah.
Once a mule was purchased, placed into the mines, he never saw the light of day again.
Yeah, I've read a story about that. That's pretty sad, actually.
Yeah.
They do that in Colorado. They said they would never bring them out.
It's like
until they're ready to go, like, die, basically.
I was told, like, if you have a mule in a mine for like a day or so, and you take them out, he won't go back in because they're smart. Not only stubborn, they're smart. I was told if you have a mule in there for like many days or many weeks, and you take them out. Once you take them out, they'll go blind from the sun.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, you guys seen those wild horses around?
Yeah, we saw 2 yesterday. That was kind of cool.
We got horses in this town in abundance. Why in the heck they use the mules and not horses? Aren't horses supposed to be like better and cooler?
Yeah. Well, they valued horses more. They were like transportation.
Could you imagine walking a horse through here though?
No.
And its ears graze the top.
Yeah.
And he like freaks out on you, kicks you in the face, starts kicking timber. And you think that hemp rope was working out? So what I got my feet on, that is the flat iron cable. That was invented here in Virginia City, 1863 by Andrew Holliday. And to replace those poor mules, we got the hoist in this area. Hoist to pull the flat iron cables ran off compressed air. They would have blowers connected to super long pipes like these.
Right.
To get that air deep into the mines. Not only air for the tools, but fresh air for the miners. Blowers got their energy from the Pelton wheel. You guys want to hear a dark fact about mining history?
Yeah, of course.
Pretty dark. 17th century Europe, they're coal mines, they're half-ton ore cars. They didn't have mules pulling them. They had topless women. It didn't matter if the women were pregnant or not. The women would remove their own tops because it got so hot. So they'll be pulling the ore car, a little kid will be pushing it on the back. Husbands shipping out the walls. Didn't matter who you were back then, you're working on a coal mine and that had to suck.
That's an understatement, I think.
Yeah,
Sasha,
check this
what do
out
you
right
think?
here on the right.
Look at the glow-in-the-dark rocks.
Do a design on the poster. You got a black light poster. When the mining begun, it was pretty dark. They couldn't really see the rocks, so they went by feel. Heavy rocks meant money. Light rocks go to the waste rock pile. 1935 comes along. William H. Baylor invents black light. Afterwards, if the miners had a strong enough black light, they were looking for rocks glowing blue, white, purple. That is value. My coworker actually found those rocks in his backyard. So if you guys have a strong enough black light at your house, test it out sometime. If it's like a long
So
one,
those are natural? They weren't painted or anything?
no, did you see me shine the light on?
I did, but I thought they were painted.
Me too.
Wow.
No. And if you have a long one of those long black lights, like from Spencer's gift shop, that won't work.
Right.
But if you get like one of those flashlight ones that they use for scorpions
Really?
and hotel
Yeah,
rooms,
yeah.
it does work. I've tried it many times and it does work.
Wow.
The best way to do it is get some rocks and like go in a closet or in a bathroom, just somewhere where it's absolutely pitch black.
Right.
See the wall behind me? That wall is not standing. We would go back another 200 feet, then 550 feet below the surface. When you guys get back here, if you have a coin in your pocket, feel free to stick that coin in one of the crevices. This is how you get to leave your marking in the mine. Like a piece of you will always be in the mine without you being a jerk and vandalizing. It also pays your respect to the miners. And it is an offering to the Tommy knockers.
Which are definitely here.
You guys know about Tommy knockers?
I know, but, well, go ahead.
Tommy knockers, before it was a novel by Stephen King about aliens, it was Cornwall, England's version of the leprechaun. They are mine dwellers. Some people say they're evil, so when you hear a knocking, they say it's like trying to lure you in, so something bad happens to you, like you fall, cave in, whatnot.
Right.
I believe the other theory, that the deceased miners become the Tommy knockers, and yet they are very, very mischievous, but when you hear a knocking noise, they're trying to warn you, because they want nothing bad to happen to you.
That makes sense to me.
All right, right here, you want to look up. Look straight up right there. Right now we are 300 feet in the mountain, 48 feet under the surface. That is a 5-story climb. That is the original that is the original entrance to the mine. However, those ladders, they were not there. The ladders were added in. A lift was originally there, and that's what this is.
Okay.
Now, where you guys bought your tickets is the cage part of the lift. If there were to be a freak accident, we couldn't get out the way we came in, that's how we're going to get out. That 5-story climb's a lot harder than it looks. If you work here, you got to climb it once.
Oh, do you?
I was so excited to do it. I was so excited. Then halfway through it, I was like, can I not do this anymore? Whoever built it was like super short.
Is that like required to have an exit?
Yeah.
out of here?
It's not required, but
No, it's not.
Not only for
'Cause-
emergency exit, but good ventilation.
Okay. Yeah.
And like I said, it was the original entrance to the mine. So it's like you got this mine. They said that the smart mine owners, they got along with their neighbors, didn't compete with their neighbors. So you got this mine, and it's like, oh, dude, it's like, we're not making much money on this mine. This sucks. And it's like, hey, man, your freaking successful mines are below my mine. How about we open up this mine as far as we can, then we'll put in a ventilation shaft, and we'll ventilate your mines.
There you go.
Then since they opened up real far, they put the powder room down there in case some dynamite went off.
Huh.
Are you guys nectophobic?
I don't even know what that means. Scared of the dark?
No. Oh.
It is. It actually translates to fear of the night, but that's a fancy word for fear of the dark.
No.
It's about to get really dark, but it's cool. We got plenty of light right here. What's your name, sir?
I'm Paul.
Paul, you're prospector number 1, and I'm prospector number 2. The year is 1860.
Right.
I did not say 1871. That's when the pneumatic drill was invented here in Virginia City. No, I said 1860. Paul and I are the prospectors, and this is our light. What would be our tools?
Well, chisels and hammers.
Paul, you get be on choice. First choice, then. You want to be on the hammer, or do you want to be on the chisel?
I'd prefer the hammer, because if you're on the chisel and the hammer guy misses, you've got problems.
So he's going to put me on the chisel, Paul on the hammer. While Paul's hitting the chisel that I'm holding, I'll be rotating the chisel. Paul were to accidentally miss and hit me with the hammer, it's cool.
Not really.
We will switch off. I will get revenge. And I'm sure that happened a lot too. Not only was it dark like I was saying before, but check this out. Here's the universal symbol to not swing the hammer.
Yep.
Just a thumb on the top.
Okay.
I figured that'd do their thumb because they did their whole hand. They could have got their hand impaled. Like,
right.
That's why I painted this nail black. Make it look like my thumb got hit.
Oh, there you go.
They were also pretty drunk. Water
Really?
was scarce at the time. Whiskey, 25 cents a bottle. That's a catch-22. Alcohol dehydrates you.
Right.
They said in a 10-hour shift, they're advancing 3 feet with a hammer and chisel. They call this the working face. Then here comes along this dynamite pneumatic drill, making crap easier, but not quite safer. Laying on the ground over there in front of that wall I pointed out is the original pneumatic drill. They called that guy the Widowmaker. It wasn't called the Widowmaker because it would occasionally blow up like a giant hand grenade. Have you ever used a drill that got stuck on you and the handle spins out? Imagine a giant version of that. Called it the Widowmaker? No ventilation. Doing all this drilling in a soft mouth and breathing in dust, dirt. That mixes with the saliva in their lungs and creates cement, causing scar tissue, giving them scoliosis, miner's lung. Okay, so Paul and I, we have our hammer and our chisel. We got our light. We got our whiskey, of course. And we got our original carbon monoxide detector. Over in Cornwall, England.
It's supposed to be canary, isn't it?
Over in Cornwall, England, that's where a lot of these miners came from. So they'll be Cornish, they'll be Scottish. They got tin mines, coal mines, copper mines over there. When they be working in their mines, they have a male canary in a cage with them at all times. A male canary is like us human males. We never shut up to attract a female. So a male canary is constantly chirping, trying to attract a mate. So they're working and notice that bird not chirping, there is something wrong with the air. It's time to get out. Or if there's a cave-in and they're trapped and they're running out of air, the canary will fade out its chirp rather than abruptly stop. This will help the miner to relax, regulate breathing, and not panic. Because you're running out of air. Last thing you want to do is panic, but I'm sure it's easier said than done. We don't have canaries in Virginia City. So a lot of canaries, they came over with the miners. Some people made good money breeding them. They mostly went by the Comstock canary. And the Comstock canary was the mule. So you're working, you notice your mule's acting funny, making weird noises, something wrong with the air, it's time to get out. You notice your mule's dead, she got out 5 minutes ago. They would also give crumbs of their lunch to the rats.
Lovely.
Rats would get used to them and the rats would hang out. They would use the rats as indicator for danger. You see all these rats running in one direction.
Right.
It's like that scene from the Titanic. Follow the rats.
Yeah.
Now, when they're mining 500 feet and deeper where it's really hot, they be on their own. A canary cannot survive down there. Rats and a mule don't go down there. So they be in teams, be switching off every 10 to 15 minutes, not only because they're getting overheated, but their tools are made out of iron. They got a little too hot to handle, a little too slippery to hold from the sweat. I wonder how many times the team finished up their 15-minute break, went down to break out the other guys. They get there to find them dead. I'm sure it's happened. Between the years 1853 and 1880, 295 mining deaths have been reported. I feel that number sounds low.
That sounds really low.
So I asked around, and I was told the key word is reported.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine the ones between 1853 and 1860 or 1859, a lot of those went unreported. Okay, so Paul and I, wait a minute, we switched off. I'm on the hammer, Paul on the chisel. I haven't got my revenge yet.
No.
And we both got a good whiskey buzz. And once we finish our shift, we'll leave the mine. We'll get home to our families. We'll get a better whiskey buzz. But until then, we got to keep working so we can support our families. But as we're working, we feel movement down by our boots. We look down, see all these rats traveling in one direction. Then we hear the mule. He's making a strange sound with that bit of light. We see the mule has his head on the ground. Obviously, that animal's not acting right. Then we notice the canary. Canary stops singing. All of a sudden, it'd be like, it's time for Paul and I to crawl out. Got poisonous gas in the air. Best to get that low. And I'd rather crawl into something than walk face first into it. After that, find a tram around. Hopefully you aren't disoriented, because it could end up leading you deeper in the mine. Yo, did you guys see how dark it was?
Yes.
That was crazy. If you take your hand, put it 1 inch in front of your face, wave it 100 times, you can't see it. Check it out. It's
Let's
weird.
try it again.
Hey, I got y'all. Did y'all do the John Cena thing? Or did they use children in mines? All depends on the location and time era. That late 1800s, early 1900s child labor thing where they're putting kids to work in mines and mills in America's ages 8 to 14, they banned that from Virginia City. However, go out east in the coal mines, they definitely did. In Europe during the Industrial Revolution, they definitely did. Africa, South America, India, China, Philippines, they still do. But over here, that's a no-go. When a boy turned 15, he could drop out of school to become a mining apprentice. But he was considered a young adult and not a man. Deep hardcore mining jobs, they wouldn't send him down. They would be sending down the Scottish and the Cornish preferably because they are experienced. Also the Irish, but the Irish, they're not experienced. They're hard workers. Good combination of miners right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got Paul here. So this a year prior when me and him were working by the candle and it went out on us. I don't know if he made it out or not. I didn't make it out. Hopefully he made it out. This year prior to that, Paul here, he's an Irish immigrant and he's looking for work. And I'm like, yo, you guys got to come out here to Virginia City and work in these silver mines. Man, there's this union, and that union is freaking awesome. An average miner gets paid 80 cents a day. Well, guess what? Virginia City get paid $4 a day. $4 a day, that's the world's highest salary. Only stupid people turn that down. Everybody's getting rich in Virginia City. Y'all know Virginia City used to be Virginia Town, right? Sure, it was America's first silver mining camp. Population only a couple hundred. Then within a few years, that population jumped to 1,500 because people got rich. So that means you, Paul, my man, you're going to get rich, dog. And there's a lot of cheap whiskey. There's plenty of girls. There's good gambling. You're going to have a good time too, man. Oh, my bad. Forgot to tell you something.
Gonna die young.
Yeah, we don't have much fresh water for you to drink.
Oh.
And our mining methods are very primitive, so you'll probably get into a terrible accident back in the mines.
Yep.
Now that you're a miner, your life expectancy is no more than 42 years of age. During the winter, you gotta watch out for ammonia. That's bad for your lungs. Scoliosis, miner's lung, that'll get you. Carbon dioxide, totally. VD as well. If you by any chance win the lucky ones and you actually do survive everything, alcoholism, cirrhosis of the liver will get you in the end. The average miner drank 32 to 33 gallons of whiskey a year. Mark Twain said Virginia City don't have a town drunk. It has a drunk town. That's true. It's still like that. Best bar in town, Silver Dollar. Check her out.
Yeah.
That was used for cutting timber. You guys want to hear about the square set timbering real quick?
Yeah.
And actually I'm trying to hurry to get out of here because I didn't realize it until you just like, when I said Irish immigrants, and you're like,
yeah,
her
her red head.
And I just, while you doing that, I just remembered something.
Yeah.
It's bad luck for a red-haired girl to be in a mine.
No, we need to leave. Sasha.
It's also bad luck to whistle in a mine.
Go.
So the seven
I don't know how to
dwarves,
whistle.
seven dwarves, they were doing it all wrong. All right, so check this out. If you're gonna look around, you're gonna see new wood and new nails because we gotta make it safe for you guys.
Right.
Go into the mines we don't go into. The ones built in the late 1860s, the ones that be standing here till the end of time. It's all held together by square set timbering. So this creates this. Structures of honeycombs. The honeycomb is the toughest structure in nature. That's because the hexagon's a bestagon. So this is a system that uses railroad ties as supports for underground mining tunnels and shafts. They would connect like Lincoln logs.
Okay.
Then from these miners, building these cubes, they were able to open up three-dimensional cavities of any size. Then when they were done mining in one cavity, they would go back through and pack it with waste rock or like tailings. So instead of having to haul all these tailings out, just move them down the way a little bit. This would create a solid pillar, wood and rock from floor to ceiling. The pressure of the earth would hold it together. It was 1860, Philip Deisenheimer, a German engineer, he came over to Virginia City and he solved the cave-in problem by inventing square set timbering. He did not patent his idea. At first I thought they screwed him out of money, but it turns out he didn't patent it because he didn't want to profit from it. All he wanted to do was make his money back and help people out. And they still use this all throughout the world today in mining, except it's like replaced with steel.
Right.
This has saved an infinity number of lives. What is the worst thing that could happen to you in a mine?
Cave-in, right?
Correct. All right, I'm going to have you guys lead. I'm going to be the last to follow. When you guys get to the very end there, please wait and I'll open up the doors for you so no one trips over the chain, tries to sue me. Or sue my boss, you got money. And I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks.
Alright, gotta do a head count. 1, 2, what am I missing?
No one.
Yeah, I forgot to count myself. We're good. We're good. Here's a picture of me on the wall over here. It was a rough year, but I am doing better now.
Santa Claus. Yeah, that was great. Thank you.